Welcome to Point to Rise, your podcast that gives you permission to dream big, take messy action, and turn your talent into profit while turning your back on perfection. My name is Susanne, high performance and mindset coach, former international ballerina, profitable entrepreneur, and founder of Point to Rise, a movement designed to empower dancers. It is my mission to use my own story as an inspiration for today's generation of dancers. And now sit back, stretch, warm up, or sip your coffee and love learning how much it matters to point at yourself first to rise to all that you are capable of. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Point to Rise podcast. My name is Susanne and I am your host today. As you can see, if you're watching this and listening to it on YouTube, I am not in my familiar surrounding. The quality isn't that great, but this will do. So when I was driving from the gym today, I had this message, whatever voice ID come into my head that I really want to share with you today. I'm going to put a little alert here. Is going to be very vulnerable, very honest. You can judge as much as you want to. I just feel not only compelled to share, however, I also feel that by me telling you honestly what I have experienced, to give you to permission to do the same and not judge yourself around choices you maybe have made in your past years or failures that you may have had. So I don't know if you know, if I really talked about it in great length, is that the last company I was in 2000, I had left abruptly in a not traditional way and not a nice way, something I wouldn't do anymore, meaning that, silently packing up our belongings and just taping a letter to all the doors of the dorm, of the changing rooms and the office of the director, and never return without any notice, nothing. Being on the other side as a director, even as a leader, I know now what that feels like and what kind of a wrench that can throw into your operations. I did not feel at that time, back in 2000, that I had another choice. I did not feel strong enough to face a conversation with the leadership of this company. I was not in the mental capacity to even take that on. And I tell you why. Because the way I was taking care of myself was poor, very poor. The way I was working in a consistent state of burnout made me mentally so weak that I could not even imagine or think of what the other side could actually think. Now, that was the way the company was run at that point. 8 hours a day, you had to be there no matter what, if you were casted or not. You can't sit down during rehearsal. And do you hear how my voice is cracking? It's really hard for me to talk about it because I'm not here to blame. I am not here to shame anybody into the operation. What I'm here to say is that when we're not taking care of ourselves, when we're not putting ourselves first, the choices that we make are also more perhaps regrettable later on in life, and are not the best choices that we could have made had we stepped into a different version of myself. And I see it over and over again in clients or people that I connect with, that when you're operating in this people-pleasing, lack mentality, consistent state of burnout, you are just functioning and you are really only tapping into what seems the easiest right now. You're not even capable of thinking about how the other side perhaps could feel that you're making the choices on. And sometimes we shouldn't be thinking about that at all, right? Because then we would perhaps waver in our decision. But what I'm saying is at least giving the other side a chance to have a conversation, which I didn't do because I didn't feel capable of it. I didn't think I was enough. And I didn't want to be convinced of staying because I couldn't see myself doing another 30 performance of the Nutcracker the way it was common in that company. And so what am I saying? Yes. So if you're judging your choices, if you really want to go and judge your choices from, I don't know, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, don't forget to also look at who were you as a person back then, and what did she or he need at that point? Was she actually capable? Was he capable of making a different choice where she was at or he at that certain point? And for me, my answer is absolutely she was not capable to make any other choices but to run. I was judged for this not too long ago, actually 3 years. Yeah, our landlord decided to not only kick us out of the house that we were living on, but proceeded to judge us, my husband and I, that's us, in making that decision to leave without knowing any circumstances, without knowing of all the mental and physical abuse that was going on there, without knowing anything where my or my husband's personal mental health was at. And so the lesson here, two things: don't judge other people on their choices without, don't judge. Just period, don't judge. But if you want to, and you feel like you have to say something about this, take in consideration where that person was at, what are the circumstances, that they came to that solution lightly, or was it actually a hard choice they had to make? In my circumstances, in my husband's circumstances, it was a really, really hard choice to make, because the only way I was able to stay in the United States was with having a contract with this company, and me leaving meant giving up the house we just bought, meant I can no longer live in this country that I have fallen in love with, that I just, entered into a year and a half ago. It came with so many other decisions, and not being in that environment completely outweighed all of the other inconveniences presenting itself to me. So I thought I had to really put this out here, because I want you to know that, yeah, I totally screwed up. I totally made bad choices. I still make bad choices, but that doesn't make me a bad person. It gives me the opportunity to learn. It gives me the opportunity to grow. And that's for all of us. We can make bad choices. We can make bad decisions. We can, and even what does bad even mean? It wasn't bad for me. It was inconvenient for them, and it wasn't really respectful on my part or on our part to just run, not say anything, and to let my ego lead the way versus stepping into that higher version of myself. I didn't even know what that higher version of myself was at that point. But if something doesn't fit, if you are unhappy in a situation or a job or a relationship, do not think you have to stay just to please the other side. And think of what kind of a version, who is actually making that choice right now? Is that your ego? Is it the tired self? Do you just need to take a sabbatical versus quitting? these are all the options, the different perspectives you can look at before quitting, running, making a choice that you perhaps could regret later on. Which brings us up another point. Do I regret that I quit? No, I didn't. Because she, back then, Susanne, back in 2001, she needed space. She needed rest. Her mental wellness was in the drains. She had nothing left to give. Could it have turned out differently? Yeah, perhaps if I would have asked for a sabbatical or a year off or something or something or something, it could have been different. But would I have been able to heal from the past 18 years of training and being in the industry within a short period of time? I doubt it. I doubt it now because I am seeing how many more layers there are that I'm going through right now that are unearthing itself without me being aware of sometimes. And it takes time, right? You have to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations in order to release all the stories that you've been collecting over your formative years. So I really truly hope that these thoughts, this confession, perhaps gives you the permission to see that in order to be loved, seen, and heard, you don't need to be perfect. In order to dream big and build something big, you don't have to have a perfect past. Your past, your story is always the ground for you becoming better, for you to want more, to build more, to step into that higher version of yourself. Okay, you guys, I'm sending you so much love. Don't give up. Choose from where you're at right now and don't judge yourself. I'm sending you so much love. Till next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. If this message resonates with you, please pass it on to someone who needs to hear this right now. And if you like what you've heard, your feedback will go a very long way. If you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, that would mean the world to me. Till next time, point at yourself to rise to all that you are capable of.